it's Donna from Simple Online Solutions, and I have with me today Erin Law, who has a very successful Facebook page called Work at Sunshine Coast, Work at Home Mums. Gosh, got to get that right. Now, we also have a couple of dads thrown in there too, don't we? So, Erin, I'm going to first of all welcome you, and then I'm going to get you to share the acronym for it because I can never get it right. So, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you, Donna. How are you?
I'm excellent. So, is it Schwams? Is that correct? That how you
we get
pronounce
Schwams, we get Schwams. I'm a Schwamser, but there are Schwamses.
The first time I heard you say that, I went, okay, and I noticed that I get a little bit embarrassed now because I've got to make sure that I say it right. So, okay, so it's Schwams. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have Schwams.
Awesome. Well, Erin, thanks very much for taking the time. I know you've got a young family and you're very, very busy. So I was wondering if you can share a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. It's a pleasure. Everyone likes talking about themselves. I'm Erin. I'm 25. Live in Caloundra. I have two little girls. Cooper's 4.5, Bailey's 2.5. I have a partner, but we don't cohabitate as yet. So it's pretty much just me here, but make the most of it. I'm the Schwams lady.
And so, Erin, what made you decide to set up your Facebook page? And give us a little bit of background about why you decided to do it and your vision as to where it's going and where you're heading with it.
No worries. I actually started out with a Facebook page for some hair accessories I was making, and through that I was sort of, obviously you click like, you visit pages, and I was discovering lots of other local ladies with items that I like to buy, and quite often because they're local I was driving around dropping things off, and then I was picking items up, and I just thought, there's got to be an easy way to know who's where, because like most people, I hate Australia Post. I hate postage, so if I can avoid it, that's great. And I was driving along one day just on the way to a friend's place, and I just thought, I'm going to start this website. It's going to be Sunshine Coast Work at Home Mums. I'm going to call it Schwams, and I just went bingo and just did it on a whim, started it up, and it just grew. I had probably half a dozen ladies to start out with that I'd met in the flesh in person and chatted to and sort of invited them along, and through word of mouth, being the coast being the way it is with word of mouth and being such a small place, it sort of just grew from there.
Excellent. So you started with the Facebook page, or why did you use Facebook as your marketing tool?
I love my Facebook. I think it was just obviously being that it's free, that's always good. Just about everybody you run into has one, and the ones that don't usually want one but are a little bit scared of it. Being on there myself and having the hair clip site just sort of just used as a feeder, I sort of figured, well, there's no investment in terms of financials, and I actually had no idea how to even start a website in the typical sense. So Facebook was a nice, safe option, and it made sense to start there and without having to actually put my butt on the line and cough up. So
because it was a cost-effective way to market your business, that was sort of where you started to head with it?
Well, that's it, cost-effective. And then obviously with Facebook, I think I saw some stats the other day, and it was like some ridiculous amount of people have a Facebook. It's crazy. Everyone from my nana through to someone's pet dog has a Facebook page, and so it makes sense. If everyone's on there, then you've got your finger on the pulse in terms of who you can access. If you're on Facebook, pretty much you can get in touch with anybody.
I've actually seen a couple of Facebook pages for people's pets, but I haven't known how to set one up because I'd be going and setting one up for our cute little golden retriever puppies we have. So, Erin, what techniques did you use then when you first started off to increase your fan base? Because obviously if you had 6 people, and I think now, have you got 600 or so people? Is that correct?
I think we're creeping towards the 600 mark on the Facebook page in terms of likers. I'd assume that 300 of them are the directory listed Schwams from my website. So there's another half again, or 300 again, that are, well, I'm assuming likers in general, friends, family members, other people from the coast. And pretty much I started out gathering likers through just emailing or Facebooking or tagging people that I knew were from the coast, little local businesses. I actually made a point of collecting business cards from, if I went to the gym, if I went to the hairdresser, the fish and chip shop, the local corner store, I was collecting business cards of other people that I thought sort of fit the bill, and sending them emails and introducing myself and sending them to the Facebook page. Or I'd find their Facebook page via their email and I'd invite them that way. and just making sure always to tag back to myself. So there was always, if someone was on their wall looking at their things, they could they might notice in the blue there me saying hello, and if it interests them, hopefully they'd click it and join the fun. So yeah.
So you held your first morning tea back in February, which I personally went to, and it was a huge success. How did you go about in terms of marketing that? Because I know you used some outside influencers, let's say, and I'm not going to steal your thunder here. Can you share with us how you went about marketing that event and how you went about actually sharing that with other people? Because you brought people in that have never been to Facebook before into your morning teas, and ultimately then turn them into Facebook businesses, shall we call them? Yeah,
sure. Pretty much. I actually steered away from the Facebook event application, which I think I do regret doing now, because looking at the growth over from the February to the March morning tea, we've sort of doubled, if not tripled, the attendance. But for the first one, I used a lot of free local media. I know that a lot of the newspapers in the area are always looking for stories to run. They're looking for content because, to be honest, there's not much in them. A lot of the time it's just filler stories. And so I actually went on Google and I just looked up all of the throwaway papers you get on your lawn. I looked up their websites. I looked inside the covers to find out who the editor was. And I was sending emails introducing myself, giving a brief rundown and saying, hey, I know you've got a what's on section. So if you wanted to pop in that, there's an event happening. And quite often, they even have it usually at the top of the What's On section saying, if you've got an event coming up, please let us know. And so I just sent a whole stack of emails one night, quite late. I think it's stupid o'clock, like 1 o'clock, and thought they must think I'm a crazy person emailing this late. And I emailed the local news station and offered them radio stations, ones that I haven't even heard of, ones that I don't listen to. And to be honest, I actually went in for an interview at a radio station and I had no idea what sort of music they played. I actually listened to the station on the 10 minutes on the way up and I went, okay, this is not my bag. But then I had people come to the morning tea because of that. And I thought, well, there's people, I might not necessarily listen to it, but hey, obviously somebody does. So yeah, just lots of emails to lots of little local outlets in terms of media. I sort of got bums on seats, which was great. And so in terms of that, did you do that again for your second morning tea that you just held? Because that was a huge success, and I would say that I was standing there and I was overwhelmed. There were so many people and so much activity that it was such a huge success. What did you do in terms of marketing, say, that one? The second one, I actually, to be honest, I was a lot lazier. I just didn't get around to sending the emails. I actually intend upon doing it for the April one. I've kept a few magazines and newspapers that have landed on my doorstep, and I'll be hopefully sending those emails out in the next little while in order to catch the press before it goes out. But the Facebook event invitations seem to drive quite well. Most people obviously being on Facebook each day, if you send them an event invite, it pops up on their newsfeed. They've got it on the right-hand side there, and that seemed to, we ended up with 60 people last month, and this month, and I think, probably not as many not so many outside sources, but having seen how well it worked last time, I will have to pull my finger out and use everything I've got. I pretty much just slacked off, and I do regret doing that because obviously, each month you want to be able to make the most of it, and you don't want to waste opportunities. So, yeah. But then seeing how well the Facebook events worked, that's just been added to my repertoire now. It's just a little trick up my sleeve I can use. So that's been handy in one way, but I should have probably used the media a bit better as well. So, Erin, from your event that you held last month, your morning tea, through to this one, do you think that the media coverage that you got, the outside media coverage, actually increased your fan base, or do you think it was just the buzz of the excitement of people that increased it? I think it'd probably be equally distributed. I think the 25 ladies that turned up to the first morning tea, I watched them sort of buzz away with excitement, and then again this time, as everybody left, everybody was sort of coming and saying, that was really great, thanks, and they're walking away with a smile, and I think that sort of filled them with a bit of confidence and excitement about their own businesses as well as the group, and it was great. I think also because we actually had 7 local news come along to our first morning tea, so everyone got to sort of watch themselves on telly, and I contributed some photos and an article to the Sunshine Goes Daily, which they ended up running a story more on me, which was great, but it did feature a lot of information about the group, and I'm still receiving emails to this day of people going, I saw you in the paper, can I join in? And like, yeah, jump on board, and I send them to the Facebook page, and a few of them have actually said, I don't even have Facebook, and I think, oh, you poor thing, you're missing out, because it's a little hub of activity, and there's so much support and inspiration on there as well. So it's definitely both the media coverage and the people going away and being excited is definitely a great outcome from those meetups. That's
great. So can I just ask you, the overall Facebook page is called Sunshine Coast Work at Home Mums. Who does that actually cover? Like, is it, how would you define your business and then, the kind of people you attract?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you've got to throw a blanket name over it, otherwise it would end up being an even longer acronym, and it's confusing enough as it is. Pretty much, I have stickers on my car or magnets on my car, and it says Sunshine Coast Work at Home Mums, and then in brackets, and dads. So I'm talking everybody from a nana who has a daughter who is at home sewing knitting crocheted beanies, to Joe Bloggs who mows your lawn, and pretty much anyone with a home-based business. I'm more than willing to have them come under my wing, because I hate the idea of excluding anybody. I have ladies that they want to come and join in, and they're not necessarily a mum, and I sort of think, that's probably where I draw the line. Not necessarily somebody with a baby, but somebody that knows the perils of trying to juggle it all, and who has built their little business from the ground up, and it's fantastic to we've all got that sort of thing in common. And the dads that have come along have been quite involved with their families, which is interesting, because I suppose that comes with working from home also. But yeah, certainly not excluding older mums and not excluding dads either. It's anyone that fits the bill in terms of parenting / work from home.
Excellent. So, Erin, in terms of if somebody new come to your page, a new business came to your page, what would be the best technique you would suggest to them, and best technique in terms of increasing their business via Facebook? Because obviously you've got an extremely successful page, so they come into your group. What is your idea as to how you would suggest to them to go ahead and market using Facebook?
I think, first up, my biggest piece of advice is please don't try to sell me anything. As soon as I see come past and buy this, I tune out, because to be honest, I don't have disposable income to come and visit your page and spend hundreds of dollars. But I would love for you to come and introduce yourself and say, hi, my name's Jane, I live at Marcoola, and I really like my business is making hair ties, and I love my hair ties, and I've got 2 little girls, so we often, we go out and we wear hair ties, and I'll go, great, I might come and see photos of your hair ties, and I'll click like, and hopefully, a few other people will as well. But not so much push, this is what I've got to sell you, but introduce yourself as a person. You're not, the idea of Schwans is you're not just a person behind a computer, you're a 3D person, and you have, things outside of your business. And hey, you've got the business, and I'd love to come and support you.
So, Erin, where do you see your group going in the future?
I have great big plans for the Work at Home Mums. Obviously, my biggest thing is I love the support network we're creating. I love that everybody seems to look forward to the morning teas, and everybody seems to enjoy catching up, and it's an outlet, and it's getting away from work and the computer and home and the sewing machine and whatever else you've got going on. I love that aspect of it, and I would love to see that grow. I do hope to be able to get in touch with people like yourself who will be able to also, facilitate gatherings that are a lot more business orientated and will help people. There's a lot of people email me each day saying, how do I do this? What's the best way to do that? What do you suggest? And I've only got limited knowledge. I've only been doing this since November, and it is a lot of trial and error, and I can't profess to be, knowledgeable about all things. But I know there's people like yourself and a few other the ladies that are on the Schwans page that do have the knowledge. So I'd love to be able to get, organise sort of gatherings where people could sign themselves up to further their businesses. And obviously, we're supporting each other through doing that rather than going and outsourcing to someone else. And then there's obviously with that comes other options like, people that might want to learn different ways to sew, and we could get little groups together doing that. And I think, as well as with the directory, which is my main sort of focus, and I really would like to get people using that, is having it as a shopping directory and having, it on the tip of everyone's tongue and using the advertising we have there, because we've got about 300 businesses listed already, and it would be fantastic to see that working in the community and having everybody sort of feeding off that rather than wandering around aimlessly, not knowing really where the best place to spend their money is. You go on Facebook and there's businesses everywhere, and it'd be nice to pinpoint the ones that are local that you might wish to support. So that's sort of, another direction we'd like to take as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's one of the wonderful things is that being a Sunshine Coast style of business that you can support each other. And I've got to say the morning teas, I've been to the 2 morning teas, has been so much fun. And there's so many clever people, like the stuff that these ladies do, and I just don't think they even get seen out there. It's just like, I look at their things and go, wow, like, does anybody know you exist?
It's really dangerous for me. I have to lock my credit card away, because each time I load a new listing and I get to see what people do, I often, my comments on people's pictures and statuses is just want, because I do. And it breaks my heart that I can't spend money with everybody, because come Christmas, all holds barred. Like, it's going to be crazy. I've got a credit card and it's going to be charged to the limit, and it's all going to be Sunshine Coast stuff, and chances are my car's going to run out of fuel driving around here, there and everywhere picking it up, because there are just so many wonderful things out there, and it's just an untapped market, and people are missing out. If they're not on the directory checking it, they're missing out on so many little treasures. So highly recommend going and having a look, because you get lost in there for hours. It's beautiful.
Maybe you should set up a Mother's Day special, get them in to do a big marketing thing for Mother's Day, and another Christmas special. And you could get...
I'd end up broke because I'd have to load them all.
No. Then you can, they'll have to pay you to advertise, and that way then you can share the love. Now, Erin, we've only got a couple more minutes here to go. But before we go, is there one tip that you'd like to share with the listeners?
My one tip would probably be just to be conscious of what you're putting out there. I noticed there's quite a few people on Facebook in general who will post things and I glaze over, because it's just the same rubbish day in, day out. Make a real effort to make what you're sharing interesting. If you've got a photo of a gorgeous piece that you've created, please share it, because I'd love to be able to clock over it and want it. But if you've just post the same rubbish over and over and over again, to be honest, I love all my schwams, but there's people on my Facebook that I look at their posts sometimes and I just think, the same thing again. That's pretty boring. So variety and interesting things, I think, would be my best advice. I think the businesses that are posting the more variety and sort of attention-drawing posts are probably the ones that are probably getting the most traffic in terms of people that will actually look to buy. So my advice would be, keep it interesting, please. I don't want my Facebook to be boring.
Well, Erin, I thank you very much for sharing with us today. It's been wonderful. I've learnt lots of wonderful things, and I look forward to catching up with you and the rest of the ladies in the next morning tea.
Wonderful. It'd be great to see you there.
Thank you.